and media manager. They'll be saying some statements muna, and then we'll have you answer have you ask some questions. For asking questions, please raise your hand, and then after acknowledging, can you please state your name and your organization? Thank you.
State your name and
Yeah. Thank you. Speaking first would be.
Can I take a picture you guys? Okay lang.
Sure.
First time kong umarap sa ganito.
Hi, Mita. Medyo historical din yan.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, speaking first would be Cholo.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon and welcome to the SMX. Welcome to Toycon Poplife Fan Experience. Thank you for your applause. For your restrained applause. My name is Cholo, C-H-O-L-O, Malilin, M-A-L-L-I-L-L-I-N. Mahirap po kasing ispelan niya ng aking last name, so I have to spell it out. I'm the events marketing manager for Toycon, and
Greetings to believers. I'm Azrael Padilla, content and media manager for Toycon Philippines, and thank you so much for attending. And sana ma-enjoy niyo yung event namin.
okay, so first up, we'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of our event, and basically tell you how we got to this point where we have it, in such a scale. So this is actually our 17th year. We started in 2002. Kung hindi nyo pa naririnig ang Toycon, hindi ko alam kung saan kayo napalok. We pride ourselves, and we've actually called ourselves in the past as the biggest pop culture event
And
in
also
the
the most
Philippines.
important. Kasi talagang
Okay na sa akin yung biggest.
talagang maraming binago yung Toycon. Not just the fandom, also dumami yung mga toy store and comics stores.
So we've held this event nga for 17 years, and there was a time that we were the only pop culture event in the Philippines. We started off in a very humble beginnings sa isang meeting room ganito kaliit sa Mega Mall, and then we found out na parang sumisikip na ata yung meeting room natin, so mag-rent na tayo ng isang trade hall. So we rented out the smallest trade hall of Mega Mall. We basically started out really as a group of friends who just wanted to share their passion for collecting toys. That was really it. Yung parang kaming mga, at that time, we were still in our 20s, diba? And we were all into Star Wars. So, kayong mga mahilig din sa mga toys, diba? Pag meron kayong isang action figure, hindi pwedeng isa lang. Kailangan may kalaro. So, kailangan tipon kayo ng marami. So, mamaya, parang, mga doble-doble na ako. So, kailangan magte-trade na kayo. So, naghanap na kami ng isang venue na pwede na kami mag-trade ng mga toys namin. And then, that's how it grew. From a simple meet-up of fans of collecting. And it wasn't just toys, no? It was comics, cards, those die-cast cars, yung mga Matchbox,
Mga super robots.
mga robots, parang ganyan. So dumami yun. Until mga around 2005, 2006, we could not contain ourselves anymore. We said, we gotta expand because people were clamoring for a bigger, because in a way, while we were growing in terms of the number of people attending our conventions, we also saw that there were people coming in who were not really collectors, but were fans. We're fans of the properties, we're fans of the licenses like Transformers, Star Wars, the bigger toy licenses. And then pumapasok na sa pananaw din yung mga these big superhero movies, diba? So when those started up and those started to hit the mainstream in a big way, doon mas lalong exponentially nag-grow talaga yung hobby of collecting. Anything and everything from cosplay costumes.
Dati kasi wala pa kami mga programs, may mga competition. And we want to showcase the Filipino talent. That's why we inserted a lot of side shows featuring cosplay competition, the customized action figure contest, na talagang 17 years na namin ginagawa to. Kasi yung mga nananalo doon sa competition na yun, talagang nagiging award-winning toy customizer sila. Designer na rin din. For this year, we're introducing the toy design competition na talagang kung sino yung manalo makakagawa ng figure.
Okay, so we basically decided that we could not just keep it to parang a marketplace or a trading area for toys. No, we needed to put in some program elements into our event, basically entertainment. No? So in the mid 2000s, we partnered up with big networks, big like maybe a CBN or alternately GMA or some movie outfits, and then we would bring in some guests. There was a time back in the mid 2000s. Medyo napansin kami ng konti ng ABS-CBN and they sent Sarah Geronimo to our event. They sent the cosplay first time
ever.
They sent big bands like Kamikaze and all of that, and we were just in the Mega Mall, just all. And then until finally, it dawned upon us that the demand for such an event has really grown. And at that time, we were not even benchmarking against events like the San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con. We were just us, diba? We were just Toycon, a gathering of friends, and people just wanna come to our event and enjoy themselves.
Parang it's a celebration and it's a gathering of fans and friends who are patronizing the same fandom. And I'd say dream come true for us, for everyone na nakakapagdala na tayo ng mga international certain celebrity. Dati parang video lang kami. We contact the celebrities sa stage and then send lang sila ng video greetings.
Okay.
Parang Q&A na rin. Ngayon, nandito sila, face to face, nakita nyo and also mamimake nyo sila.
Which basically brought us to 2016 when Poplife Entertainment, they started off as a toy licensing company called Mindstyle. They expanded into an entertainment giant called Poplife. They are a US company, but they're based in China. That's where they hold their business. And they told us that they wanted to grow Toycon with us and partner with us. So in 2016, that was the first time we held it here in SMX. They brought big celebrities with them like Dean Cain, si Hodor, and then, so for the past 2 years, we partnered with them, and Toycon has finally become what we set it out to be, really the biggest pop culture event in the Philippines. So we have a legacy. We are 17 years strong and what we really pride ourselves, which makes us distinct really from the other shows that have cropped up, is that we've brought the community with us. We grew up with this community. So the community is with our event. We are not just a convention, and that's what we've been saying in our messaging. We're more than just a convention. We are a community. We are a community.
Community of comic collectors,
of all of that.
comic collectors, cosplayers.
So, what is happening this year? Ayun, doon na tayo pumunta kasi medyo, yeah. But this year, we have very exciting highlights to our event. As mentioned, that we want to promote really the Filipino genius when it comes to pop culture, kasi we realize that Filipinos celebrate fandoms very distinctly. Hindi tayo katulad ng mga Americans and they're just there, parang hindi nila alam talaga what's going on, but we celebrate it, talaga we celebrate our fandoms very personally, kasi we know the different fandoms that we admire. Kasi we know them really parang ano sila, we live in their worlds eh. So we are celebrating that by making sure that we can make kumbaga their fandoms real for them. So our tagline for this year is it's a whole new playground. Ayun. So it's a whole new playground precisely because we want our community to rediscover talaga why they entered into this community in the first place, diba? They entered here as hobbyists, as collectors, but now they are part of fandoms. We have something called the Philippine Toy Collectors Association. Tama ba? Philippine Toy Groups Association. And you will find the heart of our convention is really their exhibits. Yung mga collectors showcasing their personal exhibits, and it's downstairs. And this is really what we want for them to showcase, diba? That the Toycon is a community and it's a playground. It's more than just an event that you go to and just
And also,
sit back and admire.
we welcome any fandom. Hindi kami limited to toys, comics. Talagang marami kaming wini-welcome. Actually, for this year, we have the J-pop na K-pop, and also Marami pang iba. Hindi lang tayo limited to what you see at the Toycon every year. Talagang marami pang matatagdag every year pa.
Okay, so we give each and every one of our attendees a sense of belonging. We want them to experience, and that is what the fan experience is all about. When Poplife came to us and told us we're bringing in something that is parang licensed to us by our friends from the Salt Lake City Comic Convention. It's called the Fan Experience. So they partnered up with the Salt Lake City Comic Con. There's a brand called the Fan Experience, and the idea of the Fan Experience is for fans to get really up close and personal with their idols. So it's not just something that they watch from afar, but they can really interact. Exactly that. Okay, and we want to make it so that it
Really
will
a fan
be easy
experience.
for them and accessible for them. Okay, so yun naman yung parang charm ng fan experience. So this year we have some exciting highlights. When it comes to showcasing Filipino talent, we've put in the forefront of our convention talaga the genius of the Filipinos when it comes to first toy designing. Our toy ambassador is a character called Tech 63. It's a boat. Para kung makita niyo yung aming poster yan, it's a certain mode of toy that is proprietary to the artist. His name is Mr. Quix Marquez. He's a Filipino, but he's known worldwide. If he puts out stuff for sale on his page, sold out yan in a matter of minutes.
And recently, you received one award as a Toy Designer of the Year.
Yes, international award yun. He was in the anong event yun? Sa New York. And then he won Toy Designer of the Year. Filipino po siya. So this particular variant of the Tech 63 is called the Manila Killer. Tech 63 Manila Killer colorway. It is exclusively available only here at Toycon. So people all abroad are going gaga about it kasi parang they want this as part of their collection, but they can only come here. So hopefully this is something that can really draw the international audience. Actually, ang balita, yung stock niya today, nag-sold out na.
Sold out na.
Wala pang, hindi pa umabot na alas 12 ng tanghali, nag-sell out na yung
It's
stock
limited
niya.
around 150.
Konting-konti lang. It's very limited. So, he's a top toy designer and he's Filipino. We have several of our internationally known toy artists. Here, and they will be present both Saturdays and Sundays. We're talking about world-renowned artists like Daniel Francis Yu, Carlo Pagulayan, Harvey Tulibao, Steven Segovia, and all the roster. We have an artist alley downstairs which showcases talaga. And these are artists of comics from both Marvel and DC, the top two comic book companies in the US. And they're all Filipinos, so we're showcasing them.
Yung mga artwork nila, mga style sila, character design sila, kung saan yung ginamit na inspired dun sa Marvel Cinematic Universe, for example, and also the Justice League and DC movies. So, yun.
Okay. And finally, the big attraction is really our toy exclusives. Because this is a toy convention, we have to cater to the toy collectors. So we have exclusive figures like the 13 na comic book, one of the top comic books. They came out with their very first line of action figures, and it's available exclusively here at the Toycon. And we also have the very first ever Toycon minifigure, which is a Lego minifigure. Okay, it's licensed, it's exclusive to the Toycon also. All right. So with that, of course, you're all here to meet our celebrity guests, and we are proud to say that Poplife really went out of their way to bring them all here. I mean, it's not an easy task really to assemble the right. Ang sinabi nila sa amin, the key here is that the people that they invite, kaya hindi kami basta-basta naglalabas ng announcement until we know that we get the right people. The celebrities that they invite from abroad to come here are people who really want to interact with their fans. They really want to get up close and personal to their fans. So we hope that you enjoy their company while they are here. Let me start off with a very sad announcement. One of the guests that we earlier confirmed to arrive for the Toycon Poplife fan experience will be unable to make it. So he has announced to us that he will be rescheduling his appearance. Okay, we are rescheduling the appearance of Mr. Jason David Frank, who unfortunately is not feeling well and he did not make his flight to Manila. Okay, so there will be more details to follow about that. So Jason David Frank is a Power Ranger. He was one of the original Power Rangers in the original show. But we have another Power Ranger for you to meet. So first up, we'd like to introduce to you Mr. Michael Copon. Okay, Mr. Michael Copon is here. Hello! Wow. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Manila.
Hey, nice to meet you.
So, okay, so let's bring them all in, and then maybe I'll ask a few questions, then you can follow suit. So let's welcome. I'm a big fan of our next celebrity because as a teenager, I remember his movie very fondly. He was featured in the movie Hook, directed by Steven Spielberg. So please welcome to Manila, Mr. Dante Basco. Rufio! All right. Okay, and we have finally one of the biggest stars to grace the Toycon stage for since forever. So please welcome the star of X2, the Scorpion King, Miss Kelly Hu. Oh yeah, hello.
Kelly, tell us
Wow.
Guys, close first.
Is there anybody else? Sorry.
This is us.
This is it for now?
I had to
Okay.
bring my phone.
Hi. Are you okay there?
Yeah.
Welcome to Manila. All right.
I'm taking pictures of you guys.
Okay. So let's hear first from you. So welcome to Toycon Poplife fan experience here at the SMX Convention Center. These are our friends from the press and media. Maybe you'd like to say something first.
Well, thank you for coming out, and looking forward to answering your questions and having some fun with you guys.
Yo, what's up, you guys? It's so fun to be back in Manila. I love coming home, and this is crazy, but looking forward to talking to you guys. Kelly?
Are you not gonna hand that to me?
I want to do a song.
A song?
I felt like a microphone in my hand.
So this is actually my first time here in the Philippines. I'm so excited. I hear that you guys have the best mangoes. That's what I'm most excited about, is having Filipino mangoes.
Which one, the fresh one or the dried one?
Oh, no, fresh, of course. Are you kidding? I'm from Hawaii, and we have some pretty good mangoes over there.
Alright.
But I hear
They
you
don't
guys
compare.
are better, and I gotta test that out.
You agree?
I feel like it was the NBA press conference, right? Yeah, playing LeBron last night was really tough. Yeah, when he dunked on me, I didn't know what to do, but it's another game, right?
Yay! All right, and you're right in time for the perfect season to be here because it's the summer season and mangoes are out. Well, I guess the first question is that you guys. You already started by saying that you're actually Filipino.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your heritage and
Okay. How you celebrate your being Filipino?
All right. Well, my dad's from Cavite, from the province of Wawa, and I went down there. I opened up for Bruno Mars at Araneta Coliseum about 4 years ago. So that was my first time here. So this is my second time back, and I got to visit my family down there, which was an eye-opening experience. It was amazing. I've actually worked with Basco and a bunch of other celebrities in the States. We've met a lot of Ann Curtis and stuff, made friends with her and stuff. So it was really cool catching up with them here and stuff. But growing up, my dad's actually Filipino, which is actually the opposite. My mom is British Scandinavian mix, and my dad is Filipino. So a lot of people always assume it's my mom. But my family keeps the same thing. Take your shoes off in the house, the same thing we eat. We always eat some more. Michael. Growing up, I was always a little on the chunky side because I love to eat. Because I know you weren't supposed to leave the table till you finish the food. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I celebrate my Filipino heritage, is eating. So yeah.
Dante.
Yeah, I'm Filipino. I'm Filipino American. Both my parents are Filipino. My dad's side is from Pangasinan, and my mom's side is from Zambales. So I've always grew up in a Filipino neighborhood in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and then also in LA. Filipinos in America are very, very proud of our heritage, very proud to be Pinoys. As far as how we celebrate, just through dance, music, through food, it's very, my grandfather's World War II vet, my dad's Vietnam vet, and so it's just we're very connected to being Filipino for sure. And coming home, I always come home. I've been coming back home for the last, I guess, 10, 15 years. I did the debut out here with Tirso Cruz and Gina Laharp and my parents, Eddie Garcia. So meeting them for the first time years ago, and then coming back and shooting another film with Jericho Rosales, who's become a really, really good friend of mine, one of my best friends in the Philippines, and seeing all my friends out here and just hanging out with all the, you know, all the artistas and whatnot, and just them welcoming me as a fellow artista. And my dream is to ultimately do more work out here, bring more American films here, but also bring some of the great Pinoy artistas to America and have them do some work stateside. So that's stuff we're working on.
Yeah.
And
Can we adopt you as
Yeah,
a honorary Filipino?
wait,
Would you? I'm just here for the mango. No. You know, it actually says on my IMDb and Wikipedia that I'm Filipino. Or it did, anyway. Maybe they finally took it off.
Look like
But,
Filipino.
Yeah, I get asked all the time. But I'm from Hawaii, which is kind of close. Right? Close enough, right?
And Island.
Yeah. We're islanders.
Yeah.
And there's enough Filipinos there to like almost make it the Philippines.
Yeah.
Right? We're yeah, it's a very close culture, you know, and we got mangoes. Back to the mangoes.
Alright, we can open the field now for a few questions. We have time for a few questions.
Is there a microphone?